Hey, it's Mac with priceactiontrading.system.com, and I was going to try to demonstrate a trade here. I didn't really get a setup and it took off. We may still get a chance to go long here. We'll see. I'm going to pause this, and if we start to get a setup, I'll come back on and we'll try to record another live trade here. It actually looks like we were trying to set up a second entry short, but this is just too congested. I don't feel comfortable entering out of that. Not It's really difficult to know which way prices are going to go at this point. We got a break up here, but never got a retest. Now we got a break down here, and we never got a retest. It looks like we could be setting up a range here. Is what it looks like to me. So um, see if we don't get another chance to buy down here. They may even get a chance to sell here, but I'm just not comfortable entering out of that congestion. But it looks like we're trying to work sideways in a range. We did that a little bit earlier. Very similar over here. There's just no real direction right now in this market. But I'm going to pause it. I'll come back if in a minute and update it and see if we get a chance to enter. Okay, it's possible we're going to get a failed break higher here.
Submitted.
Okay, you can see we had a failed breakout. I wanted to go short right there, but I didn't like the signal bar. So it looks like they're really trying to take this market lower. But maybe we'll get another chance to buy down here. But they failed it out the low side and couldn't go anywhere still out the high side. And now they failed it out the high side, so they could be going to try to take it lower. We'll see. We could just continue to chop sideways here. But I'll pause it until something pops up here. Okay, just a little update. You can see the little channel up, close outside, new high. Now we got one down. We finally got a close outside. It's probably going to pop and come back, even if we're going to go lower here. Let's see if we get a setup. So far, no. We need a higher low here because that signal bar, that's risky anyway if you went long there, even if you had a good signal bar. But we'll see what happens here. It looks like we're going to attempt to retest these lows. Now, whether or not they can get it down there, we'll have to see, but that's what it appears is happening to me. You could almost argue we got a close outside and a new low right here. But maybe not. Maybe that's your first close outside. I'm going to pause it, and when something happens here, we'll come back. We may get a higher low here. Yeah, not happening. So we can make a new low and then reverse out of here. Again, I'm going to pause it. I'm just kind of letting you see how I'm thinking, what I'm doing, what I'm watching, what I'm looking for. I really think we're going to retest these lows before it's over. But we're due for a bounce here. So we'll see if we get one, if we get a setup. So far I see, we do have a break and a new low, but it's just still no setup here. You don't want to go long above that bar. So we're just kind of waiting. We're still waiting. We're not trying to force a trade. We're not trying to rush anything. Really the best opportunity we had was up here, and you had to go short out of this stuff, and still would have worked, but it's just not a good setup. It's not ideal. Now if this would have closed very bearish and maybe below this, I'd say, hey, go short right there, but it didn't do that. So all right, I'm going to pause it and we'll just keep waiting. Okay, we may finally make a higher low here. We'll see.
Order submitted.
We'll put our order in here and have it ready to go if we get a setup. Now, just not happening. We still could get a higher low here. Now it's looking somewhat congested again, but that's probably because we're overdue for a bounce. So the momentum is waned here and you kind of got equilibrium. I'm going to pause it and we'll see what happens. Well, it's trying to bounce quickly here. I don't want the bar to get too big. Just not a good enough signal bar. It's just still too choppy. I'm gonna pause it. Okay, let's see what happens here. We're awfully close to the EMA, but if we get a good signal bar here, still really choppy. Just not crazy about it. It's just not happening. You can see now we're just in another range, another tight congestion, or whatever you want to call it. I'll cancel this because we might get a chance to go short.
Order canceled.
I think this thing still wants to go lower. Any kind of rally is beat down quickly. It tries to go. So we're real close to retesting this. At this point, I'm going to say I'll be surprised if we don't retest the lows. It wants to go higher, but it just cannot muster up anything. I'm going to pause it. And you can see here, this is why I didn't want to go long there, because it breaks higher and instantly fails and turns back down. And that's the concern you have there. Trading out of this congestion. So really, the only thing you can do here is if you get a setup, you could play the range rules, and that's about it. And there's not much room in there to play with. It's bigger than you think it is. It's 5.5 points or so, but it's not huge for sure. I still think we're going to retest the lows based on, there's no momentum here. This is acceptance of prices. This is not rejection. You want to see rejection and it take off. So you would think a failed break lower, you'd probably get some rejection off the lows here and go higher, but it's just not happening. So this market's still very bearish. I would guess that when we touch this EMA, maybe it'll go lower. That's real close. I'm going to pause it. We'll see what happens. Well, let's just hang on here a minute and see what we get. I don't like taking a trade here, short, long, or short. So I'm just going to pause this and sit tight. And if something sets up, we'll come back. Okay, this looks a little interesting here. If this thing could reverse and close bullish and break above that,
Order submitted.
maybe we could get something going here. At least get a scalp back to the EMA. Just playing range rules. I don't believe it's going to be able to close. Well, maybe. There it is.
Order filled.
All right. Put our stop one tick below here. And we're just playing range rules here. We bounced off our order.
Target
There we go.
filled.
We got our scalp. We're about to break even. See if we can get a runner here.
Stop filled.
No, no runner. But we still got $750, and we got break even plus one on the runners. So it didn't cost us anything. That's just pretty much break even. We actually made a few extra dollars. So we made a little over $750 minus commissions there. And all we did was play the range rules. We could still go lower here, but I'm just playing the range rules. Now that we've touched that EMA, you got to be really careful. So we could break lower here. But notice there's a triple test there. We finally closed. If this hadn't closed inside, I probably wouldn't have taken it. The fact that it closed inside gave me a little more confidence that we're in a range here, and we're just playing the range rules in a triple test. And we could start working higher. We might get a little momentum and work higher, but I still wouldn't be surprised if we don't retest these lows. But we'll see where it goes from here. Too bad I couldn't have kept the runner. I tried to get a runner. I probably should. Normally, if I'm trading a tight range, I may not even try to get runners. But I thought for sure maybe I could get a few points out of those runners, but it didn't happen. So, and that's just the way it is sometimes. You don't always get a runner, but still, you saw that was fairly easy. We didn't take any heat really. We broke higher. It took a couple of ticks of heat, and we easily got our scalp on 15 contracts. So that gives us $750, and then we we made we made I think a couple of dollars off each. We got it out at break even plus one. So we paid for our commissions and had a little bit left over. So we made slightly over $750. Okay, I had a slight interruption there, but let's wrap this up. But you can see it turned down right off those highs. You didn't get a setup, and we went lower again, which is what I was kind of expecting. You can see now we have made a new low on this. We've retested this. And are we going to go lower, or are we going to rally from here? We'll have to see. But that was all we were doing there was our only expectation, because we're really still trending lower here. We're just going sideways. But with a triple test and a good signal bar, you just about have to take that. And again, this trade, I scalped out at 15 at one point. So that gave me $750 before commissions. And then I made one tick on the 5 runners. So I got another point and a tick. And that basically what that did was pay for those runners didn't cost me anything. Break even plus one, it basically pays for your commissions, and you make a couple of dollars or something for each contract. It's not much. So we probably made 770, 60 or 70 bucks there total prior to commissions. So still not a bad trade. Didn't last very long. I'm not sure how long it lasted, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. But anyway, I hope you'd enjoy that, watching me how the process I'm following. I mean, we started looking for an entry here, but we didn't find one till all the way here. And that's where patience comes in. You have to wait on the setup, and you have to follow the rules. And if you do that, I mean, even if you got the direction wrong, which I did, the long-term direction, I'm wrong. But short-term, with the triple test, being in that range, the odds are high that you're going to go back to the other side of the range. And that's exactly what happened. Now from there, it doesn't matter what happens, because you're probably out of the trade unless you get a runner going. And so we don't care what happened here. I mean, I talked about it earlier. I figured we were probably going to retest those lows. There it is. So, but I didn't care about that at the time, because I know the odds are high that I'm going back to this other side of this range, at least to the EMA. And when you're in a sideways, you don't worry too much about the EMA, and you can see it didn't really matter. Pushed right through, and then it hit the top. Unfortunately, you don't get a setup up here. It just reverses. And now we're doing the same thing again. So anyway, I hope that was helpful to you. Another trader sent me a few of his trades, and they were really good setups. He sent me 2 or 3 of them. And I asked him if he minded me posting them. If he doesn't, I'm going to post those as well. But people are always asking me, how do you enter, if it's moving real fast? Well, you saw how I did. We put the order in a little ahead of time and pull it down and have it ready to drop it in place. And that's how you do it. You have to be anticipating what's coming in ahead of time. And sometimes I'll just drop it. Like, I think I tried to drop that just in time, but it didn't. So I can't remember if I had to pull that one down or not. I'll have to go back and watch it. I can't even remember now. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching another trade, quick, easy trade. And we're scalping, but we're always trying to get a runner. But if we're wrong, we at least get paid. And, long term, I was wrong, but I still got paid. Still made 700 something dollars there after commissions. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that trade. I'm going to try to do more of these. I'm not going to do them every day and probably every week, because I don't have time, but it's been a little quiet around here this week, and I've had time to record a few of these, so I've done it. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up. This is Matt with PriceActionTradingSystem.com.